Guys, I messed up. I broke Jacobs BMW E91. Let me explain. A few weeks ago, I teamed up with FC Puro to reseal Jacobs E91 X drive oil pan gasket for free. While I had the subframe down, the steering shaft rotated and it caused the steering angle sensor behind the wheel to become out of sync with the rack and pinion. He lost manual shifting and paddle shifters, the buttons on his steering wheel lost power, and he got a new airbag light. So join us as I figure out the diagnosis, correct my mistake, and attempt to install a new steering angle sensor for Jacob under warranty. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, so Jacob is back with his E91. After I did the X-Drive oil pan gasket job, he was driving, turning the steering wheel, felt resistance, and then something kind of snapped.
Yeah,
kind of
like
turned through it.
Yeah,
something kind of popped. And I think it was actually my doing. When you separate the subframe from the steering shaft on these cars, if the rack and pinion rotates a specific amount, or if the steering column going up to the steering wheel rotates a specific amount, the steering angle sensor, the BMW airbag clock spring, can become out of alignment, and you turn to full steer and it'll cause this little connector inside to shear and brake. So today we're going to be tearing into the steering wheel, getting access to it, taking off the covers on the top and bottom of the steering column, and replacing the steering angle sensor. So this is the steering angle sensor. It goes behind the airbag. So we're going to be pulling out the airbag, removing the steering wheel, separating these two plastic pieces, then getting access to it, and then we can replace it. I hope this fixes it. I don't really think there's anything else in there that it could be though.
I think that should be it.
Symptoms for what Jacob felt after he felt that pop. The buttons on the steering wheel stopped working. Heated steering wheel still worked.
Still worked.
And the horn did not work.
Not at all.
So the horn stopped working and all the buttons, which makes sense because that ribbon inside here is the contact point for these connectors, making it up to whatever instruments they're supposed to control. So if that ribbon cable broke, or if he turned it until it popped, that would cause the disconnect between the horn, the buttons, rest of the car. So we should be good.
Yeah.
We took this apart once before to just take a look at things and diagnose it. The first step is slipping a little Torx screwdriver into the back on this steering wheel. Jacob says they're actually self-healing ports from what he saw online. I don't have the finesse for it. I kind of suck at it, so Jacob's gonna knock that out, and we'll get some shots of Jacob slipping up in there so you guys know the technique for getting this thing out. First things first, disconnecting battery, something I forget to do all the time, but airbags, sensitive electronics, disconnect the battery. Flathead. There we go. All right, sick, battery. Disconnected.
So there's like a little divot you can feel here. You kind of have to feel around for it if you can't see it.
I see it now. It's crazy. It actually healed up.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah, right there. So you just pop that in.
Just make a hole in your leather steering wheel. So there's a metal clip in there. And what we're doing is we're pushing up onto that metal clip. And you'll see the airbag pop out and release on one side. They're a real pain. I see the airbag moving though, so you're close. These used to fight me so much at the old shop. Just wiggling around there with a long, skinny flathead screwdriver trying to get it. But I think these Torx work pretty good.
Here, I might swap over to the other side just to get a feel for it.
Yeah, let's go over to the other side. If you don't immediately get it, or if it's stuck, go to the other side. They're trickier than you think. Maybe I'll get it fast this time.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm afraid to just like go crazy in there because it's the inside of a steering wheel and you're like, I don't want to be tearing wires and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, these things suck, dude. I was so stoked when you got it so fast last time. I was like, oh, you're a wizard. Let's try other side. It's such a small little sweet spot.
Yeah.
Because if you just go up, there's just a cavity there. Doesn't do anything. This is literally the most difficult part of the job. This and finding access to software like ISTA, or what's the program you use?
I use Pro Tool.
Pro Tool, something like that to probably get access to initialize the steering angle sensor afterwards. Could try a different tool. Try a long skinny flathead.
A T25?
That's the only like long Torx that I have like that. We could try this flathead after too. It might have like a little bit more flat surface to bite and push on the spring.
Which that's probably why they recommend the T25. I mean, it's only a couple more.
All right, we've been going way too up. We need to go way more in flat like that. That's gonna be the move. We know because we just double checked another person's YouTube video as we make a YouTube video. It's crazy how well that leather sealed up after we did it last time. Though. We had it apart, what, like 3-4 weeks ago? Oh, that was it. I felt it. That's it.
Nice.
Oh, that's it.
Yep.
First
There
try
we go.
guy. First try guy. All right, see the angle there passing through the self-healing ports. You can see that steel rod right there. That's the spring. So you go through here right into there, and you can see that spring move. So what you're looking for is the resistance of this little piece against your screwdriver, and that is the angle that you need. That piece there and that piece there latch on to, those are the two pieces that latch. Okay. Step one, now you guys got the angles. One more time for the people in the back. Pretty flat angle. That's pretty flat. We were like way up here at the beginning. All right, classic airbag connectors. I always just take a pocket screwdriver right under here and just give it a little quarter turn. So long. There we go. Just like that. Clip comes up, plugs come out. Boom, step one, done. We'll need to disconnect this plug here, this one down in here, I think so.
Yep.
If you want to get after it, I'll play cameraman. So there's the top two, just classic, push on the top. And that one sits into this little seat for it on the inside of the steering wheel. That's just a pull. Perfect. And then I think it's I think it was like a 16 mil on a...
Did we do this one as well?
I don't think so.
I think that just stays right in
I
there.
think that just stays, that bottom right connector. Let's just rip it off, and then if it
stays, it stays.
All right, I think it's a 16. We'll see. Impact guns are super helpful in these situations with the wiggly steering wheel. You can just use the power of the impact and not have to try to break it loose, but ratchet will get the job done too. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
And then this steering wheel is keyed, right? Isn't it keyed?
Yep, it is.
So there's a little mark down there at the bottom, and there's a little mark where it lines up on the inside steering column. So just go ahead and give her a lift off on there, and that harness should come out. Doesn't look like we forgot anything. Boom, we're good. And there is our steering angle sensor. This one has a heated steering wheel, so the steering angle sensor is slightly different, but we were able to source it from FCP Euro, crushed it. So now we're gonna take off this bezel on top and this bezel on the bottom, get access to the hardware, then we can remove the steering angle sensor, reinstall the new one. So, as I've said before, when I'm doing interior work, I like to use plastic pry tools because they don't scratch and mar the plastics nearly as easy as pocket screwdrivers. So, put a link for these guys in the description. Always good to have on hand. Now, from what I recall, I don't think we need to completely remove all of it.
Yeah.
I would drop it down and lock it into a lower position, and then the way I've done it in the past is I just find a nice thicker seam and just slide the plastic tools in, and I like to do lateral twists instead of prying up and down, because then you can get a bite for a little bit of leverage. But yeah, the mounting points I believe are just a bunch of clips just like that all the way down through on that side and that side. And I don't think we have to pull it out completely.
No, I don't think so.
It's scary popping into plastic panels like this, dude.
Yeah.
You don't want to trash it. You don't want to scratch a bunch of stuff and leave a bunch of screwdriver marks.
Especially
it
when
came out super easy. Boom, you just nailed it, dude. Figured it out perfectly. That almost might be enough.
I think so.
Because I can
there's
see
that one, that one, that one, that one.
Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Plastic always claims hands, dude.
It's the worst. I don't even know which
Let's
part
see
it
if
was.
it's a T25. Honestly, it looks a little bigger. Might be a T30.
Ooh.
It's a little sloppy.
No, that's perfect.
Thought you might like that tool.
Yeah.
It's got a little more finesse.
Yeah.
I always recommend this for tightening hose clamps.
Okay.
On coolant hoses, air intakes, the expansion tank hose that goes over to the upper radiator hose. Remember the one I showed you that broke and fell apart?
Yeah.
This is fantastic for it because people will use 1/4-inch ratchets. It has far too much leverage.
Oh, yeah.
You can snap plastic nipples off in plastic all the time. Always need to be conscious of how much leverage you're using. All right, that thing should come out. Keep the position of everything nice and bitchin', and the little arms might come off too. I think we might have to. There goes the release. That made life easier though.
Yeah.
So you got a good little plug on the back there?
Yep. There's 2, it looks like.
Cool. Let's just pop them out and take it over to the bench.
All right.
Hopefully they have a little thumb tab on them. This one's classic. I see these. Where do I see these? Window switches, that's where. So push down that little black tab behind the plastic and slide the plastic towards the tab, the gray plastic. Boom. And then they unlock. And then when you put them back in, make sure that little band is pushed in the flat position. And as you slip it into the female port, it'll push the tab up a little bit and you know it's seated, and then you can send it home all the way back to the clip. Okay. Yeah, and if it's not coming out, you can push that gray down a little bit further. There you go. It is. That's the full lock. Boom. Boom. Steering angle sensor out. Looks like we got the turn signal on the window arm, so let's go see if we can swap it. Let's see, orientation here. Boom, like that. Let's see here, clasp on bottom, clasp on top. Harness, so the harness would have had to come unplugged.
Okay.
From there. But yeah, other than that, we could have left it in the car, just pop that off there, pop that off there. So here where the harness goes in, it also has a clip right there. Then one on the bottom here and one on the top right there. Boom, money. New one. So this little red cover that came on the new steering angle sensor, Jacob just told me you're supposed to snap it off to protect this. So we'll leave this tab on until we get it fully installed. And this is in a nice locked position, nice factory position. They're both at the same degrees of rotation, which looks good. All right, you can send her home. I already stole your unclipping of the sensor. All right, sick. Let's get this thing back in.
All right.
That can hang. So are brake hoses. Everybody's scared to hang calipers from brake hoses. I've hung hundreds, if not thousands of calipers from brake hoses. No problems ever. There we go. Just finding that sweet spot. And we'll just throw our 4 T25s back in.
Right. And that just slides right back in under there.
So now it's time for steering column to go back together. That might be a little tricky. You might want to release the steering column, wiggle it up and down a little bit so you can get it in a comfortable spot. And then it's sort of just seating one side up to the switches, because that's sort of your indicator whether you're fully seated or not. And then you can bring the bottom one down to match it. Nice. Progress. Boom. Looks pretty good. Let's see what it looks like with the top. I'll release this side real quick.
Okay.
I think this guy can go in front. You were 30 seconds away from glory for yourself. All right, send it.
Not that tricky, but it's still...
I think there's only one way it'll go on.
Exactly.
So it's dummy proof. Let's see right there. Hash and hash.
Clips back in.
I hope your horn works.
Me too. We'll find out.
All right, let me grab the airbag. I think those can also go in with the clips already pushed down, but I always do them with the clips up.
Okay.
Because I like the satisfaction of pushing them down and locking them in. Boom. Those are just classic airbag connectors. And then, yeah. Send her back home. Perfect.
Yeah.
Looks good. All right, battery.
Battery, and then we're...
And ISTA. Pardon my sniffles. I'm dying from allergies today, and my nose has slowly gotten more and more plugged up as this video has gone on. But we are getting ISTA fired up, and I'm going to have Jacob get it connected. We were just talking about the differences between ISTA and Pro Tool. I'm not sure what type of softwares out there can initialize steering angle sensors on BMWs, but I've done it with ISTA before, so that's what we're using today. We got an Ethernet cable hooked up here. We have ISTA running on my laptop, and if you don't mind, I'll have you pop in the OBD2. Should have plenty of battery juice for it.
Yeah. I hope so.
We're gonna have to test the horn inside a closed garage, so we'll give everybody warning beforehand. So yeah, OBD2 goes to an ICOM that I bought off eBay with the Ethernet. Had a friend download ISTA. We're gonna go ignition on, engine off, and wait for the vehicle to show up on our connection manager. Connection manager is up. We got the vehicle there, 11.8 volts. Okay. Let's just delete fault memories. Driver's side airbag, stage 1, stage 2 though, that's from the failure that we had in it. Steering angle sensor adjustment, shift paddles, short circuit to positive, they stopped working.
Yeah.
Faults are deleted. Let's figure out how to do this again. Let's do vehicle management, service functions, chassis, steering angle sensor adjustment. ABL is the service function. That's the abbreviation for service functions. So steering angle sensor must be calibrated after the following jobs: replacement of column switch cluster, which would be the arms, turn signal wipers, encoding of DSC control unit, which receives the steering angle sensor data, replacement of DSC, adjustment work on steering angle geometry, or working on steering and or front axle. Was the SCL replaced and a brand new installed? Yes. Do you want to end the test module? No. Exactly set front wheels to straight ahead position. The steering wheel must be positioned horizontally. You want to go check on that real quick?
Yep.
So since the key's in and ignition's on, we should be able to adjust it. So I just go for a little kind of side to side wiggle till you get it in the perfectly centered spot that you think you like, which you got the eye for stuff like that. So
I think that's about it right there.
All right, cool.
Yeah, looks
should be good. All right, we set the front wheels exactly how we want it. Must be positioned horizontally, no problem. Now we go to next step, adjustments in process. Yeah, for people replacing these at home, I would just look up what types of software can do steering angle resets on the car that you have and go about it that way, because ISTA isn't accessible to everybody. But it sounds like Pro Tool is.
Yeah.
For Android users. Turn off ignition, wait 10 seconds, switch it on. Ignition back, come on. Adjustment of the steering angle was successful. Visually align the steering wheel. Check the 0 position, which it's still exactly where we left it, and it's reading steering angle 0 degrees.
Awesome.
So it's perfect. Steering wheel angle equals 0, yes. Tolerance is plus or minus 2 degrees. Okay, all done. It's just telling us to initialize run flat indicators. I think it just does something with the DSC and makes you want to reinitialize it, but that'll also be done while you're driving.
Yeah.
Okay, boom. Faults are deleted. Service function's done. Done with ISTA.
Woo! So I snapped the cover off of the coil spring, the clock spring, whatever the heck BMW chooses to call it. But this little white peg lets you steer it. And sure enough, you can see right here on this part of the wire, there's a snap there,
Yeah.
that little piece of copper, and then the rest of it was ripped off.
Yeah.
So that's where it broke. And
So it's basically just a ribbon of circuits that allows you to steer 360 with the steering wheel and maintain that circuitry, where if you had a standard harness and spun it 360 degrees, you'd put excess stress on wires and cause it to break. Like a BMX bike would have a gyro steering wheel that can spin in full 360s for hand spins.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, gang, before we continue with today's video, I want to tell you a little bit about today's sponsor, FCP Euro. Now, you can buy BMW parts from a lot of different suppliers, but the biggest factors for me are price, warranty, and customer support. As you'll see later on in this video, I had some issues with a brand new part right out of the box. Now, it's uncommon, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. I've had bad starters, alternators, and water pumps right out of the box before, but the biggest factor is who you bought your parts from and how well they take care of you. When I first discovered this part, I called FCP Euro, I shared photos, I shared videos, and I shared an explanation of what was going on. Not only did they ship me out a replacement part right away, but they also took all that information in and they passed it over to their loss prevention team so they can prevent this happening with more customers in the future. And I think that is just absolutely top-notch service. If you haven't shopped with FCP Euro before, I highly suggest you check them out. Go to fcpeuro.com, throw in your vehicle details, and just browse their catalog. They got some of the best pricing, they have the best warranty, hands down, and their customer support is second to none. They got technical support, they have super fast shipping to the West Coast and the East Coast with their 2 locations in Connecticut and Arizona, and really, it's my one-stop shop for everything BMW and European car related. So, a big thank you to FCP Euro for taking care of me through this headache of a job and for sponsoring the channel and today's video. I really appreciate you guys. Let's get back to work on this E91 and see if we can get this thing fixed. Now it's to the point to where we can make sure everything works, so why don't we just run through the controls real quick.
All right, full. All right, so we should be able to see which, I guess, yeah, steering wheel buttons are working. Yep, and that's all good.
We got volume. We'll save the horn for later.
Yeah.
Turns are good, cool. I wonder if you can go through any manual shift.
Let's see, because what it would do was...
Before, it wouldn't let you go into sport.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't let you paddle shift. It kept you in drive the whole time.
And it would temporarily allow me while it was in drive, so maybe a quick lap wouldn't be a bad idea, because it'll let me do that. Manual 1, manual 2, 3.
Looks great.
Yeah.
I think we're solid.
Oh yeah. And then, ooh, that is, we might have to get back in there.
Does it feel tight?
Yeah, right there.
We didn't touch anything in the brand new sensor.
No.
We got to take off the back and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Something's going on. If it felt crunchy, it should feel perfect.
Mm-hmm.
She came out quick.
Yep.
Bro, that's just a bad steering angle sensor right there. It's caught. That's just a bad steering angle sensor from the factory.
Oh no.
I think we should just throw the old one in, get you home, and warranty another one.
Okay.
Throw in a freshie. The steering angle sensor was just bad from the factory. It's genuine BMW too, but it just goes to show parts are not always perfect outside the box. So we'll throw in the old one, get them home for the night, get this thing warrantied out, get it in a fresh part, do it all over again. We know it though, it's super easy.
Exactly.
All right, you two get home, I'll warranty up the part. We'll get her knocked out, get her reinitialized. All right, dude. Great hanging with you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, I'll holler at you when the new part comes in.
Yeah.
We'll go at it again.
Yeah.
All right, Jacob's back with the E91 for round 2. We have a brand new genuine steering angle sensor. I really think that first one was bad from the factory, just based off what we saw. We're gonna go through the same process again, airbag out, get this new one reinstalled, we'll reinitialize it and then turn it real slow and make sure that there's no binding of any of the cables in here. See if we got a good one. Super fast. So yeah, what was it? It was like these little tabs here that separate the steering angle sensor from the actual cluster tree, little switch tree. Freshie, this guy, this one. Yep, just bottom and top, and that one stays on. Okay, new steering angle sensor. Oh, it's also got this plug connector down here. I didn't notice that last time, so that's important. We should focus on that part first. Definitely not gonna force it. Oh, that's why. This is a ring from the old one.
Oh, okay.
This ring fits into there. So there was an old part. That black ring right there wasn't supposed to be in this cluster, so that's why it was fighting us a little bit. All right, we're good.
Cool.
So reconnect battery, plug into ISTA, clear faults, reinitialize. Okay, let's get all these faults cleared. All right, cool. All we got left in here, just for your own records, gearbox, oil wear, seat occupancy sensor, passenger side, high beam turn off, left faulty. So just bulb there, faulty left brake light, secondary brake light, which sounds like you got a little bit of electrical gremlins going on in the trunk.
Yeah.
But other than that, we are good. Close operation.
Those are all known errors for me.
All right, battery's reconnected. We got a tight connection. Work for me, okay? Paddle shifters work great.
Yep.
Horn works.
That's good.
Okay, here we go. Right?
I think it's just suspension.
No, I heard something in the wheel.
Oh, again?
It's a little clicky. There's nothing I could be doing wrong.
No.
It's being installed in the correct position. Well, before we get too far, I guess I gotta pull it out and look at it. I could hear it.
Yeah.
I could hear it. I don't know if it was going tight or not, but I can't pop the clip and pre-clock it and adjust it. I mean, I technically could. If it's not damaged, we could do that and pre-rotate it.
Yeah, just
On
one
the
turn.
inside, rotate it a full revolution to the left, maybe even more, but it's to the right again.
Yeah.
Is that max?
No, I don't think so. If you go all the way to the left real quick, because yeah, that's straight.
Yeah, it's binding. Man, what is the deal? I really don't think I'm doing anything incorrectly.
No, I don't think so either.
Hopefully, you know, this cable's probably damaged a little bit, so I'm not feeling too hopeful on whether it's savable, but we gotta see. Yeah, man, just instant cable failure right there.
Wow.
All right, old steering angle sensors going back in. Second time was not the charm. We're getting bad steering angle sensors right out of the box. Whoever's manufacturing for them is just over rotating them to the left too much, so when we go right turn right out of the box, it's just causing it to fail. So at least now we officially know that it's not my personal doing, which is nice. Gives me a little bit of peace of mind that it's not user error, but we're just at the mercy of the part suppliers. It's not FCP Euro's fault. It's not my fault. We're just getting bad parts right out of the box. So it is what it is. We're gonna get a new one coming, and then we're gonna disassemble it, take it apart, rotate the clock spring 2 turns to the left, try to find a nice centered position, check on the craftsmanship of the connections on the ribbon cables, and see if we can do it one more time. All right, we wait for the new part, we go again.
Yep.
Third time's the charm, right? I stole Jacob's car today, he's out of town, and we got another new steering angle sensor from FCP Euro. So let's get this thing unboxed, let's take it apart, look at the insides, and then try to get this thing installed once and for all. All right, let's see what this genuine steering angle sensor looks like. We have it brand new here in the packaging. Let's get her out of the bag, and then let's split this case open and see if it has the same manufacturer defect that we've been looking at on all the other ones. So to split this case open, we have a tab here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. and one here, and I think that's it. One back here too. So we got quite a few. Just gonna take a pocket screwdriver, start working them up. Some are gonna clip back down as you go to unclip others. So you just gotta be patient. We don't wanna break any tabs. We just want to get this thing open so we can inspect it. Okay, so we're all loose. Orientation is this way. This goes up top, and it's gonna be locked in place because this red cover covers up that little white button, and that little white button is what gets sandwiched by the steering wheel and causes the steering wheel to unlock. So if we look here, the ribbon cable looks to be in good shape. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to simulate a left-hand turn to make sure that the cable has enough slack. So this piece moves, and this 0.5 goes right here to this gap. So that's how I'm gonna orient it. 0.5 to here. We're gonna have to snap this off, depress the button, and pretend like we're doing a full turn and a quarter to the right and a full turn and a quarter to the left. One thing I'm worried about is this thing likes to spill its guts right out of here, so I need to keep my thumb over that hole to make sure that the ribbon cable doesn't come out. So, locked all the way to the left, 0.5 is there. Snap it off, keep my thumb here, and now with 0.5 to there, that's the sweet spot. I know exactly where it wants to lock out. Up flush with that, and down flush with the center. Yep, see that? Right there, that cable's already starting to bind, right there. So it's clocked too far to the left. Let's do a full rotation around, and now it's clocked left turn. So now if we go all the way to the right, it's still not enough because the steering wheel takes more than a full rotation. So that means we need to pre-wind this. 1, that's back to fixed, and 2. Okay, so that means that now we're 2 turns to the left from factory position. So that means we should be able to get another full turn to the left plus a quarter. Let's go back to center. 0.5's lined up, and now we should be able to get a full turn to the right plus a half. Okay, and we're back in the locked position. So this is now ready to go, ready to install. Okay, now it's time to knock out this airbag. Luckily, I've gotten really good at these now. The nice part about this entire experience is I got a great part supplier to have my back. And I'm also getting really fast at doing these steering angle sensors now. I mean, we've had this thing out, what, like 4 times? So, you know, this video is an amazing learning opportunity for me and all of you guys out there to just remember that parts are not always perfect right out of the box. A human put them together, and human error is always a factor. I've had starters and alternators fail right out of the box. I've never had steering angle sensors fail, but now I have. And I'm able to take it apart, understand the system, learn the part very well for the first time ever, and then fix it. And I think that is just such a valuable skill to have. Okay, so now we're gonna boot up ISTA. I have the ICOM and the Ethernet cable connected to the car. Hi, Sage. You guys haven't seen enough Sage this video. Guys, I just got 8 more chickens. I have 15 chickens now, and Sage has been just locked onto them all day. She's being a little chicken guardian. I'll show you guys at the end of the video. I'm currently integrating them because you can't introduce a flock of chickens to another flock of chickens right away. Apparently they'll try to kill each other because they're very territorial. So I brought my buddy's coop over, I made a little temporary run, and I got them right next to each other so they can see each other, sort of get acquainted, you know, start to smell each other, bond over some meal times. Then we can introduce them. All right, let's clear faults. All right, so steering angle is reading 0.17 degrees, which is fine. Steering wheel's in horizontal position. It's saying that it should be 0 degrees plus or minus 2 degrees. We're well within that tolerance. So it reads 0 degrees, yes. Adjustment of the steering angle sensor was carried out correctly. And service function is finished. So now we are all done. We can close operation and close out of ISTA. Okay, garage door is open. Faults are cleared. Steering angle sensor is initialized. I also diagnosed what that rough idle and that squeal is on startup. If you watch the X-Drive video, you'll see me pooping my pants at the end when I first start this car up and I hear a noise that I've never heard before. Luckily, it's been happening for a long time. Turns out it's the breather in the valve cover that's failed, but subscribe to the channel, you'll see that video in the future. Okay, so now we need to turn on the radio. We have volume, buttons are working. Manual is working, shifters are working, no airbag lights. And now for the real moment of truth, we got turn, 1 full rotation, good, good. All right, all set. To finish this video off, let's go for a little drive together. This is a sweet little car. It's got a nice exhaust on here. It really makes the N52 pop. Makes me want to modify an exhaust if I ever get another N52 again. Tell you what though, next time we gotta fix that exhaust rattle for Jacob. This thing needs a valve cover because it needs a new PCV valve. We need to fix that exhaust. We got some other little tidbits to fix on these cars. They drive amazing, but they're like a high maintenance girlfriend. You got to give them lots of love and lots of attention. Let's make sure our shifters work, because Jacob loves his paddle shifters, and that was the first thing that he noticed. Let's call Jacob and say what's up.
Hey, Alec, how's it going?
Good, buddy. I'm currently ripping through the gears in your E91 on the way back to your house to drop the car off. Steering angle sensor is successfully installed. I split the case open and preloaded it to the left 2 turns. It would have been the same thing. This wing was super tight.
Oh my God.
I could barely even turn it to the right, but we got it, dude. We're all done.
Hell yeah.
So I just wanted to give you a call and share the victory with you. And
Yeah.
you're ready to rock, my friend. I appreciate you, man. It's been fun working on this thing. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. He's got a good soul. Woo-hoo-hoo. Downshifting at that 3,500 mark sounds good. That sounds good, dude. All right, guys, we have arrived at our destination. We got my E90 right there. We're gonna get her parked up, jump back in my car, and we're gonna hit the road. This has been a great learning opportunity video, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. I wanna give a huge shout out to our sponsor, FCP Euro, for just being a stellar part supplier, having stellar customer service, and just always having my back, you know? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, or I hope you learned something new, and as always, folks, I'll see you on my next day off. Cheers. One more thing before we sign off. There's my old girls, all 7 of my chickens. Here's the new girls. We got 8 more chickens. We got some Jersey Giants, some Cuckoo Morans, some more black sexlings, and 2 little silkies. Look at that beautiful chicken. Hi. Let's see if the silkies are hiding in here. Look at those adorable little silkies. They're so cute. Look at you guys. Anyways, I gotta let them integrate. I gotta let them hang out in this run, and look at the chickens over there. I gotta have those chickens look at these chickens over here so they can get to know each other so they don't fight and kill each other as soon as I integrate them. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Love you all. See you next time.